even have to go anywhere because this is the Talk Beat Jones. And I want to welcome everyone for this particular beautiful day. Beautiful day. Welcome to be with me. I am Billy E. Jones, and this is the Talk Beat Jones. And I want you to talk to your friends. Let them know to call us, talk to us. This is the program that you're going to be able to talk and give us the truth, and you'll receive the truth when you're with the Billy E. Jones Talk Beat Jones. I want to thank Mr. Henry Tyler, H.T., for bringing you the program. He's the producer, director, engineer. Actually, he's the person that will pop me upside my head if I don't do it right. That's Mr. Henry Tyler, the president and the trainer of all persons here at the station. Thank you, Mr. Tyler. Well, family, once again, we want to let you know the telephone numbers are 868. Let's do it the right way, Billy. 313-868-0342. You call that particular number and it will roll over. Want you to know that this is on the RJ's Watch Party. That's right, on the RJ's Watch Party. Tell your friends, tune in to the Watch Party, and spread the party. Spread the party. Don't keep it to yourself. Have other folks watch us with you on RJ's Watch Party. And again, Billy E. Jones, the Talk Beat Jones Show, we're on the air every Sunday from 8:30 in the morning until 10 a.m. every Sunday. And there is a rebroadcast of the program on Sunday nights from 8 until 9:30. And there are other times, of course, we'll rebroadcast throughout the week as well. And don't forget, TV 33 is on the air, cable channel 90, 7 to 12. That's Monday through Sunday. So tell your friends. They can watch us on cable as well. Roku box, Amazon, Apple, that Fire Stick, all of it. YouTube, Facebook, you can watch us. Tell your friends. All right. Once again, this is the Billy E. Jones Talk Beat Jones. I want to wish all of my friends and family a very wonderful, blessed day. So let's get started. Right now, I want to go into, let's see, I have someone on the phone. Hello?
Yes, hello.
Who am I speaking with? Hello?
This is Mary.
Mary?
Yes.
Last name?
Barber from Oakland, California.
Oh, Mary Bugs? Mary Barber?
Mary Barber.
Okay, that's why I needed you to give me that last name because, you know, we got that Mary Bugs also, and we don't want you to get confused. All right? Hold on, please.
Okay.
So, family, hey, bro, want to let you understand this. You have to be careful where you are when you're waiting to park. If you're waiting to park and there's a white woman sitting there adjusting her makeup or her hair or doing twiddlywinks, and you're thinking that she's coming out of that parking spot and you're looking, you just sitting there watching, waiting for her to come out the parking spot, guess what? That white woman could pick up her cell phone, call the police, and tell the police that you are sitting there watching her menacingly. She don't know what you want to do to her. And guess what? The police will show up. Now you got a problem. So brothers, be careful where you are and what city or what state you are when you decide to wait for a white woman to come out of a parking spot. For those who know, you know what I'm talking about. Also, some of you team players, there is a report that there was a white woman that brothers on a team had the jerseys on, selling for candy, and going door to door. And this white woman had them spread eagled on the ground. How? She had the gun on them. Had the gun on them. Hi, Mr. 45, 46. Is he 45, 46? He's the Trump man. He is the alpha man. He is the Don. Not just Donald Trump. He is the Don. Ask the congresswomen who wanted to go across to another country. Don said no. I have told you before, Donald is putting together all types of friendships with these other presidents and czars and whoever else they may be all around the world. You got to be very, very careful in watching what Donald Trump is doing in putting together his friendships. He has a plan. He has a plan. You're looking at him preparing to run for this election that he believes he has in the pocket. He has it in his pocket. He believes. Now, we can keep talking about he's stupid, he's a racist, and all of these other particulars. But tell me, is that going to get him out? Will that get him out of the office? I'm going to pose that question shortly, but that's just something I'm trying to get you to understand, family. We have a real serious, sincere problem in America. And we have a leader that's throwing out, he don't have to throw out dog whistles anymore. That's not even what he has to do. His base is already energized. He got folks, it's like when they put together what they call sleeper cells. Donald Trump has his sleeper cells that he don't have to send out dog whistles anymore. There's keywords, and they're ready to go into action. Ready to go into action. You know, speaking of going into action, why don't we do this? Why don't I bring on a guest this morning to the Billy E. Jones Talk Beat Jones show? And so let's get ready to welcome Mr. Otis Mathis early in the program this morning. How about that? Otis, how are you?
Yes, good morning. How are you doing to your listening audience also?
Oh, great, sir. Great, sir. Want to welcome you to the program this morning. And is there any opening thoughts that you have for the family?
Yes, one thing I learned in these last couple of weeks about City of Detroit Park and Recreation Center, and maybe the residents in the City of Detroit have not noticed, but they are forcing volunteers that have been doing Little League baseball and Little League sports out of the parks and recreation centers. And what I found out, I was at a party in Mexican Town, and you know, I'm from Southwest, and actually the party is in African Town, 48217. So I was on Verner, and some young Latinos told me that not only the volunteers at the Parks and Recs, but even at the nonprofits, they went to a meeting and found out that they're giving all those Little League sports to the churches. That means funding from there and funding from the foundations.
But basically, when you're saying this, are you saying that money is being given to other folks to do what?
To house the Little League sports. Normally they've been even when my children were little, and before that, my baby 43, they were housed at the recreation centers and parks in your neighborhood. So now when they start giving them to the churches, that means you got to figure out transportation. If there's not a church in my neighborhood that's been selected, that means the kids in African Town need to find a way to get to it.
Okay, but Otis, there's also the process of they're talking about now that the baseball has gotten to be expensive because these pony leagues and little leagues, etc., even some of the schools, they have to pay to play.
Yeah, but they only had to pay in, like at Kimney Recreation Center, $25, and that covers the cost of the referees also.
But what about the shirts the mittens, the gloves.
That all comes with in African Town with the 25.
No, we're not talking about just African Town at this point. I'm going to come back to African Town, and I don't want to just central on African Town at this point, because I was listening, and I was hearing that there is a general situation of these folks with money taking over, as you were speaking about, these recreational type teams and players that would have been playing, who could have played but now can't afford to play in different parts, different communities now.
Well, I don't know about that because I'm more focused on my community. And matter of fact, the Little League, Mike Slack, who've been doing to him and his wife Pat for several years now, since the World War II generations, and they're part of the Generation Xers, they have now moved their program. Well, they were doing it over in Ecorse, City of Ecorse, and City of River Rouge, so they're no longer doing it in our neighborhood. Matter of fact, another Daryl Boyd, they forced him out, and he's upset. He came to me because they told me he couldn't even come in the recreation center. And that's before I received the knowledge what was going on. So in your community, when your kids are not able to play, you're talking about transportation is an issue. Seem like we get uniforms for the $25, or parents buy extra things for their children, extra bags, but all kids get to play that want to play.
You're talking about in African Town.
Well, that shouldn't be in African Town because Skillman funded them.
Well, what I'm speaking of, I was listening to a radio station, and station that you've called, other folks have called, and the process was the person and the host was speaking about the cost that's now associated with baseball, especially because they said baseball used to be everybody played baseball. But now it has gotten to the point where young folks that don't have the money, in many cases, can't get out and play the baseball. So you're saying that in your area, and let's go back and focus on your area, and let you continue speaking about the focus that you have, because I'm often talking about, family, that we get spread around so often looking at everybody else that we forget about looking right in our own neighborhood. So, Mr. Otis Mathis, pick up where you was going there.
I agree with you. You need to look in your own neighborhood because you need to find out, and especially we go back as baby boomers and how we had those large Little League baseball. We had a lot of volunteers, especially from the World War II generation. But you need to look in your own neighbor. Find out more. A lot of the kids now are playing those video games and not playing. Don't let someone sit, even myself, sit on any radio or television station and tell you that you need to do your own investigation. Because what you may find out, like in one time in our neighborhood, we emptied out pretty much of children. So then our little leagues decreased in numbers, so we started having, instead of 10 leagues, 2 leagues. So you got to be careful on that when they say the cost. Skillman, Kresge, and them funded. Why would they stop funding your community little leagues and start funding these new church things that Duggan and them's putting together? So you do got to look, and don't let someone tell you the kid's not playing, because you may find out that you're a senior citizen neighborhood now, and then the kids that's coming up that are still there are playing video games in their homes or online, so they're not playing Little League. So don't be bamboozled. But the kids that want to play, if you find out there's not a child that cannot get, the uniforms come with your fee, but can't get the extras, like the daddy might bring or the parents might bring 2 extra bats and extra gloves so you can play first base, but that's additional money of those who have some additional resources or are dedicated. They don't necessarily have additional resources. This is being dedicated to the children.
Now,
so watch what you hear and say until you see where the money is going.
Got that. So now, you have been attending and have attended and have focused and watched some things that's going on with the Charter Commission, Charter Commission Review Board members. What is your overall thought of what's going on there?
Well, when I was asked to participate in that, and I sit on the a volunteer committee called Equity, Planning, and Zoning. So, and I attend most have for the 4th Saturday, but they don't even have 4 Saturdays anymore.
And I want you to go back and explain why they don't have that as well.
Well,
not now, but continue.
Okay, and so what I found out going through the Charter Commission, because I was around for 2012, and it wasn't like this. But then I started noticing something. There were a few people in the community, the citizens, thought they would vote for or would support them. Come find out, two of them decided to switch over to what they call the Duggan and Dan Gilbert's team. So it's now a 6-3 vote.
Yes.
Another thing I found out at this last Charter Commission Tuesday, because they now have it at the Coleman A. Young Center, and people said, you disenfranchising the residents. So now they decided the chair is to come up with 75 to 100 free parking tickets instead of going into the community. It's discouraged citizens from showing up.
Now, with that, and kind of jump with me, if you would, please. I want you to stay where you are. 75 tickets for parking at the where?
At the Coleman A. Young Center downtown.
And when they started having those meetings in the community, they were averaging almost 300 or 400 people coming to those meetings, correct?
Right.
The last meeting that was held, can you give the audience, the family members, a basic idea of how many folks that you felt was there, maybe?
About 50.
About 50. So why, in your estimation, do you feel, let me do this, go back to where you were, and I'll come to that question, which was, why do you think that the citizens have stopped coming to the charter meetings?
Well, they only stopped coming since they've been downtown. The last one had about 300-400. If you saw the video, but this, not the last one prior to this one, but this one is because people saying they're coming down there, they're paying these fees. Some paying $20 fees in the evening, and they're on fixed income.
Okay.
And so they can't afford to come downtown. And the reason is they set it up, those 6 Dan Gilbert, Mike Duggan team, to discourage. Because the question is, if you got, like the chair, if you got 70,000 people that voted for you, then why you can't get 7 people who voted for you to be coming to the Charter Commission? It's 99% black also.
Can I answer that question? If I have the people with the power behind me, and the people that vote are with me, they don't have to come to the meetings to get their work done. That's why they put me there. I'm talking about the persons that was put there. I'm doing their work. They don't have to come to the meetings. It is the folks who are trying to do the right things that are coming to the meetings, and it's believed in a fair and just system. As you mentioned before, it's a 6-3 in terms of where the Charter Commission is, the lines are broken down. 3 for the people, 6 for the other folk. So they know that they have the winning hand. So why do I have to come down and spend my time in a meeting that I already got the Jack of Spades already in there?
Now, I agree with you, and initially it started out 5 for the people and 4 for Mike Duggan. And then 2, somehow, whatever way it switched over. I know reason why Jones switched over from Osborne community, just because of the speaker he had at the last meeting, and I kept hollering out, what does this got to do with the charter? It got to do with him making money.
Why do you think he, kind of take your time and explain, why do you think there's a Commissioner Jones, not Billy Jones? I want you to know I'm Billy E. Jones of Talk Beat Jones, and he's not talking about this Jones. Help him out. Help me out there, somebody.
No, you're not talking about Billy Jones.
Okay. So which Jones are you talking about?
I can't think of
Quincy?
Quincy, right, yes.
And so what, in your estimation, do you feel why Quincy is on the other side?
Because initially people thought he was for the people and
Yes.
voted him in, and then he switched. I think because he sits on and worked for
Hold on, Mary.
sits on and worked for nonprofits, community development corporations, and the Osborne is funded by those big nonprofits.
Okay.
And that pays his salary. I think you get him an opportunity to get land when they develop it, he would benefit and his family would benefit, because a person, he chairs the neighborhood committee. And then he had Wayne Westland and another person, I can't think of her name because she said she was with Environmental Justice, and then come find out she owned a private company. And the funders now, Kresge, Skillman, and others, Ford Foundations, they don't want to fund cities and schools. They want to fund nonprofits, and they want collaboration. So I think he was proving that, and to them he had a collaboration and to continue to help their organization get money to pay his salary.
Now we have one other flip. And I want the family to remember that we had the 4 commissioners on Talk Beat Jones as they were running. And they were for the people, including Ms. Tracy Peters, who is now considered the other side. It's considered she's on the other side, and she is the treasurer. So what is it about faking the people out, knowing that you're going to do this? Because this seems to have been underhanded from the very beginning.
Right, and from me being born and raised, going on, it's November, 65 years in Southwest Detroit, we have saw that happen with Southwest Solution, Southwest Business, formerly Ecumenical Project Save, it's Bridging Communities. I've said on there that primarily the only African American since probably 1980 on several of those boards, and now we got some baby boomers who are retired from African Town that's starting to cross the river and sit on there. So we're easily being faked. I know when not Joe Gordino, when I can't think of his name, downriver billionaire on the Heritage paper, when he called me in, when they tried to have a black developer develop in Wyandotte, I think, $1 billion development, the largest in the country at that time. So they asked me to come in and sit in. And when those white folks down there, because downriver was primary white, and when they came in the Yak Center, and those brothers and sisters walked in dashikis, and elected officials who was getting money from the billionaire, you know, for their campaigns, stuck with him, when the folks screamed, and they voted all of them out the next election. See, we don't do that. But Wyandotte, and they knew now, the new elected persons running for office, if you looking out for them, just like what's the name from Oakland County just passed away, L. Brooks Patterson.
L. Brooks Patterson. I wish that in Detroit, I'm going to say this real quickly, I was hoping and wishing that we had a black L. Brooks Patterson.
I do too. I do too.
We would not have the problems that we had if we had a black L. Brooks Patterson. As much as we don't like him, and the white folks loved him, folk, believe this, if we had a person that would have that same attitude, and if he hadn't went to jail, Kwame, we would be a whole lot further ahead. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, and Hans Proctor was the person I was thinking about from the downriver billionaire. He used to put the sunroofs and convertibles on before the factories themselves did it. That's how he became a billionaire. So even with all his money, the citizens of that community voted against the elected officials and voted almost 90% of them out. Taught the next group coming along, you listen to us, not the money. We don't do that.
So as we are complaining, etc., you are saying to us that if we collectively actually got out and voted, we would have the power. People are always speaking about people power, but you're finding out that it's money power, because you see, the folks with the money, they work together. But us as people, we're too scattered. Everybody's hollering about people power, and everybody works for us. But who is us? Who is us? If you can't come together as a collective body, who is us? That becomes the question, family. So we have to understand, as Mr. Otis Mathis just got through explaining and showing, that if you got together and voted, if there's folks on the council, if there's folks doing things, if there's folks running for office that you know have a potential to flip, that you know are not right. I don't care what their last name is. I don't care what the family persons are. I don't care who the best friends are. Are you investigating? Are you truly vetting those people? Why is it that we put folks in office and then we find out, we made a mistake again? Why is it that our city council folks that are that's on the council now, prior, we had folks on the radio, Major Queen, telling us that there was a council person who was strongly in office now, that she wouldn't vote for dog catcher. Now you don't hear any particular persons really vying about what our council persons are doing or they're not doing. We hear about what's not going on in their district. But Who is taking the responsibility for what is not happening in those districts? Good morning to you. I want you to stay with me, okay? Good morning to you. I want you to stay with me, okay?
Okay.
And family, I want you to stay with WHPR, WHPS, because what we're going to do is do nothing but bring you nothing but the best, the truth. They say the truth will set you free. Lies will get you confused. They will bamboozle you. But the truth will set you free. And with that, we're going to take a little truth break and take some time to get ready to come and talk with you on WHPS, where we go all around the world on TV 33 with Billy E. Jones, the Talk Beat Jones. Mr. T, you ready, sir? All right. Stay there and continue to watch WHPS. Anywhere, because this is the Talk Beat Jones, and